Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Sports Out.
It's a beautiful night for baseball tonight at Turner Field, but it is Monday, and the Braves try to snap out of their Monday funk as they begin a 4-game series with the Miami Marlins here at Turner Field. All season long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. And good evening, friends, with Tom Glavine and Joe Simpson. I'm Chip Carey back at the ballpark. This very important homestand has started brilliantly for the Braves. They just swept the Philadelphia Phillies and now face the Miami Marlins, a club, Joe, that the Braves have beaten 6 out of 8 times already this season.
And really have played well against the Marlins. There have been a lot of close games in there. There have been some where the Braves have blown them out a little bit. But there's one line here when you see these matchup numbers down on line 4, average with runners in scoring position. The Marlins have had a problem hitting with runners in scoring position all year long. You can see they're only about 1 out of every 6 against the Braves, while Atlanta has really crunched them when they've had opportunities. Let's hope that that continues for 4 straight days.
Yeah, we hope so. And for the Marlins, it's really kind of been a tale of 2 seasons. And got off to a pretty good start to start the season. They were 31-23 to begin the season. Since then, 16-31. 3.7 runs a game, 14th in the National League, 15th in average. As Joe just mentioned, their problems hitting with runners in scoring position, 15th in that category as well. And their pitching's been in the middle of the pack as well, along with all those stats. So for a team that had a lot of high expectations, an awful lot of mediocrity, and I think, for the most part, a very disappointing season.
But they will send one of their best to the mound in Game 1 of this series. Mark Burley will be the opposing pitcher for the Miami Marlins. Tommy Hansen will pitch for the Atlanta Braves. Both starters looking to improve from their last time out. We'll break down their years when we come back to Atlanta right after this. Monday win of this 2012 season as we join you again from Turner Field. Game 1 between the Braves and the Miami Marlins. And fellas, 2 men go to the mound in this series opener looking to improve their control. And in the case of Tommy Hansen, hopes to set a career mark tonight.
Well, and if the Braves are going to win on a Monday, they're going to need Tommy to pitch better than he's pitched his last 3 times out. His last 3 outings, he has not gone beyond 5 1/3 innings. In his last start against the Miami Marlins, he went 5 innings, only gave up 1 run. That's okay, but he walked 7 guys. That was a career high. He's got to have better command tonight and hopefully pitch a little deeper in the ball game.
And the Marlins are going to be looking for the same thing out of Mark Burley. They're going to want to see a better effort than they got out of him his last time out against the Braves. Uncharacteristically wild for him, walking as many guys as he did, in and out of jams all night long, and the Braves were able to ultimately take advantage late in the game and win that game. So look for him to get back in terms of his command, being more aggressive in the strike zone.
It's a beautiful night for baseball. Glad you're with us for Game 1 of our 4-game set. Tommy Hansen and the Braves take on Mark Burley and the Marlins. Starting lineups and our first pitch from Atlanta is coming up next. Field, Game 1 of 4 between the Braves and the Marlins, with Joe Simpson, Tom Glavine. Tom Hart will be by in a few moments. I'm Chip Carey as the Braves take the field, trying to win yet again. They've won 5 consecutive games and are facing a Marlins ball club that's actually won back-to-back games for the first time in over 2 weeks. Emilio Bonifacio's their leadoff man. That moves Jose Reyes into the number 3 spot because of all the offensive changes this Miami club has made. Braves have had some trouble with Justin Ruggiano, who's been a find. Then it's Brian Peterson, Brett Hayes, Scott Cousins, and crafty left-hander Mark Burley pitching and hitting ninth.
They'll be facing right-hander Tommy Hansen, making his 22nd start of the year, 11-5 on the year with a 4.39 ERA. In 10 career starts against the Marlins, he's 6-2, and he's 8-2 over his last 14 starts, even though he has been struggling a little bit lately.
And that leads us to his 4 keys to pitching success over those last 3 starts, where he's only gone as deep as 5 1/3 innings. Tonight, one of those keys is go a little deeper, get deeper into the ball game. 6th or 7th inning would be ideal. And 1, 2, 3 question mark. Well, that has to do with the fact that he has gone 10 innings without having a perfect 1, 2, 3 inning, and only once out of his last 15, dating back to a start on the 14th of July. So some easier innings might help him go deeper in the ball game.
Here's the Atlanta defense behind Tommy for Game 1 of the set. Prado, Bourne, and Jason Heyward left to right. Standard infield alignment, and Brian McCann is back behind the plate. On this beautiful Monday night, Andy Fletcher will have the plate. Rob Drake is at first base. Singing Cowboy Joe West at second. And Sam Holbrook is the umpire over at third. Fellas, I think we'd all agree this is a dramatically different looking Marlins club than we've seen at the start of the season and certainly in our last series. Really a different style of play will be employed by Ozzie Guillen too. This is a team that's going to have to try to run themselves into big innings rather than hit the ball out of the park. And as we saw, Joe and Tommy Hansen's last start, controlling the running game was a key too.
Well, that's going to continue to be, like you said, a big part of the Marlins game. And like Greg Maddux always used to say, they can't steal first, so keep them off the bases.
And Tommy behind Emilio Bonifacio. 2 balls, no strikes. Bonifacio, a .272 hitter, a homer, and 9 driven in. Two and two.
Marlins took big time advantage of Tommy in Miami, as you guys said, when they did get people on base. Miraculously, he only gave up 1 run with those 7 walks, but they were just running wild in the bases when they got on.
In the outer center, and Bonifacio will fly out to Michael Bourne. Beautiful night tonight in Atlanta. Yes, it's warm. Yes, there's a bit of a breeze. The humidity, though, is expected to creep up as the night goes on. We're expecting some thunder showers in Atlanta late tonight, which hopefully will cool things off for the rest of this series with the Fish. Here's Donnie Murphy. He's getting a start at third base. Not to be confused with Danny Murphy, who plays for the Mets. But I probably will confuse him before the series is over, so I ask for your apologies in advance.
I already did before the game started. So.
Yeah, but they play a very similar game. They're built a lot alike.
Tommy with a kick save toward the hole at short, and Murphy's aboard with an infield hit.
Go ahead, hockey coach.
Yeah, I mean, that was either, I don't know if that was half get out of the way, half let me stick my foot out there, see what happens. And I mean, most of the time that's just a reaction to doing anything to get in the way of the ball. And unfortunately, that time it didn't deflect to anybody.
So here's Jose Reyes. Somewhat strange seeing him hitting third and not first for an opposing club. He is a red-hot hitter and the subject of our Academy Sports and Outdoor Leaderboard.
3rd longest hitting streak of his career.
Runner goes, the pitch low. The throw to second is going to be in time. We told you the Marlins were going to try to run at every opportunity. Murphy's thrown out.
Hey, Brian McCann's getting red hot on this category too, throwing out base stealers. Good call by Joe West. Good throw by Brian McCann.
So Reyes now with the bases empty and 2 out.
Chip, you're talking about the way that they're going to have to try and score runs, and that's in large part because they don't have anybody in their lineup that's in double digits in home runs. Justin Ruggiano leads their lineup with 8. Even Carlos Lee only has 7 home runs combined between Houston and Miami, and he's only hit 1 for the Fish.
And in fairness to the Marlins, Mike Stanton's out, or Giancarlo Stanton is out. And even worse news, Logan Morrison may be lost for the season too with a knee problem. So he's been disabled. Hot shot towards second. And Tommy Hansen faces the minimum in the very first inning. He gives up a hit, but Brian McCann threw out Donnie Murphy on the base paths, and Mark Burley to the mound in a scoreless first inning. They've won 5 straight, 15 of 20, and are 18-6 in their last 24 games against divisional opponents. Let's hope all of those things continue against Mark Burley. Bourne, Prado, and Heyward 1, 2, and 3. Chipper, Freeman, and McCann. Ugla, Janisch, and Tommy Hansen.
We'll be facing Mark Burley. He's 9-9 on the year with a 3.3. And despite his last start against the Braves, and actually his last 2 starts, he's been pitching pretty well. Over his last 6 starts, he's 4-1 with a 2.09 ERA.
And if you blink, you might miss a pitch when this guy works.
I was going to say, and if you haven't figured it out by now already, he likes to work fast.
If he and Joe Blanton hook up, it'll be a 1 hour, 7-minute game.
To give you just a little bit of insight as to how uncharacteristic, which was hard for me to say in the open, his last start was, gave up 4 walks. He's only walked 23 guys in 20 starts. And 4 of them came in that last game against the Braves. So he's not walking anybody generally.
You're talking with Greg Walker, who saw Burley pitch virtually every game with the White Sox, said he'd never seen him that out of sorts. As a ground ball is hit toward Bonifacio at second. And that's the first out. Michael Bourne's retired.
Here are the 4 keys for pitching success for Burley tonight. Omar, Hanley, now what? Well, that goes to the fact that he's a ground ball pitcher and he's got half of his infield missing. They've been traded away. And spare change. This guy throws so many different change-ups that he's always got an extra one in his back pocket if he needs it.
What was the stat? 31% of his pitches, Joe? Something like that?
Yep.
A man after Tommy's own heart. Ball 1-2. Martin Prado.
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, just watch this, folks. From the time he catches the ball, gets his sign, and goes into his windup, if the hitter will let him, he's a machine gun.
So, Joe, can that be part of the Braves' offensive weaponry tonight? Try to slow this guy down somehow, some way?
Should be.
And Burley issues a walk. Like this trend, hope it continues. Prado's aboard with 1 out.
If you hadn't noticed, all the Braves are wearing their pant legs hiked up tonight, showing a lot of their navy blue socks. I think this is an effort to try to snap this Monday jinx.
Not suggesting these guys are superstitious in any way, right?
No.
Braves are 0-12 on Mondays. As Jason Heyward bats and takes a called strike. Jason's achieved a mark of distinction in the major leagues. One of 6 men with a 15 homer, 15 stolen base or better season working. 16 blasts, 15 swipes, and a .269 batting average.
Great shot at being a 2020 guy. Andrew Jones, the last guy to do that for Atlanta.
He reached for that ball and popped it down the left field line, and there'll be no play. 0-2. He waited on that ball well, didn't he?
He got a hanger, and Burley's lucky that it went foul into the seats. You can see it was just below the belt. Chance for Jason to make an adjustment on it.
One ball, 2 strikes. Burley with 9 wins, as Tom mentioned, needs 1 more for 12 straight seasons with 10 or more victories in his major league career. And he has his first strikeout. There's another one of those changeups. And 2 are out for Chipper Jones. And Chipper has been a hot hitter and is the subject of our Georgia Lottery hitting jackpot.
Pretty good OPS. 3-week period.
Chipper passed another baseball great yesterday as he smokes this ball deep center. Back goes Ruggiano. He's at the track and he'll haul it in. Chipper homered yesterday to move him past Pete Rose on the extra base hits list for a switch hitter. He just missed a blast in the bottom of the first. In part by Ford, by the Home Depot, and by AT&T. Scoreless first inning under our belts tonight. We move along to the second with Carlos Lee ready to go for the Miami Marlins. Lee, Ruggiano, and Peterson coming up against Tommy Hansen. Marlins Delta Airlines on deck batter is Justin Ruggiano. He's been very impressive against the Braves. Tommy, what was it like pitching against this guy?
Oh man, I mean, look, he's a dangerous hitter. You try to, like most big guys, you try to keep him honest in and keep the ball above his hands, but if you better make sure you get it there. Because he can do that, although that was a breaking ball. But I mean, it's kind of like you've heard me talk about before, where you have the rarity of a power pitcher who can also change speeds and locate really well. Well, he's kind of, to me, a hitter's version of that. He's obviously a power hitter, but he still hits pretty well for average. So it makes him doubly dangerous in that you have to worry about the long ball, obviously, but you can't just, kind of approach him like he's a all or nothing kind of hitter, because he'll get his singles and extra base hits as well.
2,218 hits for Carlos Lee in his major league career, including that leadoff single here in the second. And here is Ruggiano. Ruggiano was originally a Dodgers farmhand, then went to Tampa Bay, but with that very talented outfield, fellows, really had to sit and wait for his turn that never really came for Joe Maddon's club.
He's sure making the most of an opportunity now. Good for him.
Upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. Tommy in some trouble, 3-0.
Well, one thing he doesn't really have to worry too much about here with Carlos Lee is him stealing. So if he's trying to rush his delivery because of threat of a steal, he doesn't need to.
And on 4 pitches, Ruggiano walks. 2 on, nobody out. Come watch the Braves take on the Astros this weekend. Enjoy Ultimate Kids Day on Sunday with free Scouts Alley games, a pregame parade, and free museum access. Visit Braves.com/tickets or call 800-745-3000. This is Brian Peterson. Been up and down between AAA and the big league club now 3 separate times. In fact, at one point was designated for assignment by, let me take that back. He was not designated for assignment. It's just his 3rd stint with the ball club. And getting a chance again to play with all these Marlins moves in July.
Yeah, he got called up for the most recent time while the Braves were in Miami on July 24th.
And he finds himself, Joe, in a spot where the Marlins have struggled so mightily all year long, with guys in scoring position. Their first chance in this game against Hansen with nobody out. Ground ball towards second, might be 2. But a slow developing play allows Peterson to beat the ramp at first. Ruggiano's forced out. They're at the corners now. 1 away for Hayes.
This is kind of what happened down in Miami when Tommy walked 7 and they had base runners all over the place. they might hit into some force outs, or they might pop the ball up, even though they might have a runner at second or third and less than 2 outs. They just couldn't get that one big hit, kind of break the game open.
But he's facing a man now in Hayes who Tommy really handled beautifully in that ball game. Hayes struck out 3 times in as many at bats against Hansen down at Marlins Park. And a strikeout here would be real nice. Right on by, strike 1.
Tom, there's so much made of the deliberate delivery, especially out of the stretch for Tommy Hansen. So we're all kind of drawn to the arm, his right arm, and where the ball is, and the deliberate nature in which he extends it and then comes over the top. I want to ask you about his front side. You know, I had a visit with Don Sutton before the ball game. He was talking about this too, about there doesn't seem to be any real pull and drive from his front side. Do you see the same thing?
Yeah, a little bit. His front side is not probably as active as a lot of guys is. It's just kind of there, and he kind of falls forward a little bit. But you know, for all the talk there was in spring training about speeding up his delivery in the stretch and all that, you know what, that's hard to do. It's not an easy thing to do unless you're just going to make a wholesale change and maybe go to a slide step. You know, that trying to shave you know, a portion of a second to go from a 1.7 to a 1.4 or something like that. That's so minuscule. It's just a hard adjustment to make.
Runner at first goes, and the pitch fouled away by Hayes. That's a break. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, they were talking about how they thought if they could get him to speed up his lower half, his legs, then the arm would have to follow, and he would shorten that time to the plate. But his arm action's so slow that even with his feet moving a little faster, I'm not sure his arm could catch up.
Well, and that's why I wonder if he hasn't fooled around with a slide step, maybe that could help a little bit, because in a slide step, you've got to get your hand out of your glove and you've got to get going, you know, and if you do it properly, you're not, you know, I think there's this notion that if you go to a slide step, you're going to lose velocity or you're going to lose something. I never felt like I did, and I see a lot of guys use slide steps and it doesn't look like they lose velocity. It's something you got to get used to, and that for sure you got to pick your hand out of your glove and get going.
And the runner goes. The throw to second will be late this time. And Peterson has his 4th stolen base, and that takes away the double play opportunity. Runners now at second and third with 1 out. So a full count to the catcher. Two outs.
The one side of that start down in Miami that we really haven't talked that much about, 7 stolen bases, 7 walks, but he also had 7 strikeouts. There's his first one tonight.
3 of them. 2 of them were Hayes. He struck out 4 times that day. And Hansen gets him for the first time today as Scott Cousins bats. Take the bat out of his hands and go after Mark Buehrle, who's 2 for 44 at the plate this year. So an intentional walk.
He's not getting any hits and he's not getting any bunts down.
Pretty good swing there, though.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, yeah, took a good hack at that one and fortunately missed it.
We were on Barry Zito for not being much of a hitter last time he pitched against the Braves, and he bounced a base hit for an RBI.
If I remember correctly, Tommy was really upset with his fastball command in his last start, really the last couple of starts for him. Keep an eye on that as this game moves along. That pitch dropped in for a 1-2 count. No swing. 2-2. Oh, Brian McCann thought that caught a corner.
He balked a little bit on that one. He was heading back to the dugout, and I don't blame him.
Whoa.
Just because he wasn't at the target doesn't mean it wasn't a strike.
That one was. And Buehrle's caught looking to retire the side. The Marlins again had base runners all over the place, but could not break through. No score. It's trivia time. Our AT Universe trivia question. And the question tonight is: Mark Buehrle needs 1 win for his 12th career 10-win season. Who holds the all-time record for most 10-win seasons?
Not necessarily consecutive, just the most. Kind of like Cy Young on that.
As do I.
Yeah.
Cy Young or Maddox, one of the two. I think Greg is consecutive, I think, right?
Yeah, like 16 of them or so.
Freddie pops one up toward third. Murphy will have a play. And Freddie's out number one. Nice cheer for Brian McCann, who bats for the first time tonight. The Braves catcher hitting .240, 17 homers. 8 of them have come in his last 16 games.
I sure hope they win tonight because Mac doesn't look very good with his pants up.
He's got a little Jim Thome in him.
Yeah. Base hit up the middle. First hit of the night for Atlanta, and Brian's 4th in his career against Burley.
The other thing is you could have a good night and all of a sudden, oh, I better kind of stick with this.
No, they wouldn't do that.
No, I'm just talking about Mac.
No, I know. I'm saying
tonight,
I'm being facetious. Yeah. What's that? I went 4 for 4 and I looked horrible. All right, let's go with that again. It's the high tops. The high tops just don't look.
Yeah. I never liked the high top look on a baseball player. Sort of Bill Buckner-esque, isn't it?
Those are actually their height.
Well,
about three-quarter, I guess.
Yeah.
Dan pops one into shallow left. Peterson's coming on, and he's there for the second out.
This was an 84-mile-an-hour changeup that Dan more or less jammed himself on. And I know you've seen this happen a lot of times when you're on the mound, Tommy, but it's one of those things as a hitter that drives you crazy. The target's in there, but this is 84, and you just can't get the barrel to it.
It's one of those ones we used to call if you're gonna hang a changeup or hang a breaking ball, hang it higher than high because it looks really good, but when it's up above high, you can't do anything with it. And that was one of those.
Yep.
Giannis snaps an 0 for 10 with a clean single to left. And at the very least, it allows the Braves to clear their pitcher, Tommy Hansen, who, like Mark Burley, has really struggled at the plate. Tommy's the only Brave starter not showing the socks.
Well, he's allowed. I think he's, whatever he feels comfortable. Just missed. Can't believe they're not playing him right on the line, guarding the line on him.
They are on the opposite side of the field a little bit.
Nothing in one.
That's familiar with that alignment. Third baseman standing right on the line.
Ground ball out towards second. And Bonifacio with the flip to first. The Braves pick up their first 2 base hits of the ball game, but do not break through against Burley, and we are still scoreless after 2. by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by Georgia Power, by Ram Trucks, and by Blimpie. Scoreless game after 2. Good crowd tonight at Turner Field. Our first to 4 with the Miami Marlins, a club that the Braves have really dominated in 2012 play. The Braves have won 6 of the first 8 meetings head-to-head this season. And that goes hand in hand, fellas, with the improved work by the Braves within the division, which is also very important. The Braves just 4 games now behind the first place Washington Nationals. So Hansen pitched out of a bases loaded jam in the second. He'll go back to the top of the order, and Emilio Bonifacio will lead things off again. Bonifacio's been traded a couple of times in his career. Originally signed by the Diamondbacks as an undrafted free agent in 2001. Washington got him from Arizona for John Roush in July of 2008. Then the Marlins made a big deal with the Nationals. As Ugla robs him at second. What a play.
I thought that ball was by him. Great play by Dan.
It was technically, but that's a solid play right there. Got to have those every now and then out of you infielders.
We've said it before, fellas. No matter what Dan's doing at the plate, it has not affected him in the field.
No, it hasn't.
So a speedy leadoff man's retired. Here's Murphy.
Who went the other way in that deal with the Nats to get Bonifacio?
Scott Olson and Josh Willingham. Remember Scott Olson? Left-handed pitcher, supposed to be one of the next big things. Just didn't work out for him in the big leagues.
He could be good on some days.
Yep. High pop. Jason Heyward gallops in a few steps. And 2 are out. The Braves have created a limited edition set of Chipper Jones commemorative prints to be given away on 4 Fridays, August 17th, August 31st, September 14th, and September 28th. That's presented by SunTrust, and each print reflects a different stage of Chipper's career. Call 800-745-3000 or visit Braves.com/tickets today. Hot smash, and that's fair past first. Jose Reyes on his way to second. Heyward digs it out cleanly, and Jose Reyes has a 2-out double. A 17-game hitting streak now for the Miami shortstop.
Boy, just when I thought Tommy might have that 1-2-3 inning, a bit of a hanger there right out over the plate. And with 2 outs, Reyes comfortable with the double.
So again, a chance for the Marlins with a runner in scoring position. It's Carlos Lee who singled to start the second inning. Reyes is trying for third, and he's going to make it with a belly flop.
That's why he didn't want to take third.
25th steal, second stolen base for the Marlins tonight.
He already had it in his head he was going to steal third anyway.
So a little more pressure for Brian McCann on a ball in the dirt. And a count of 2-0. They pitch around Lee. They'll go after Ruggiano. Third walk.
This is a guy, though, that if they haven't had anybody else hitting with men in scoring position, at least he's done a good job. And hitting .333 over his last 10 games.
Ruggiano this year with runners in scoring position is hitting .310. But with 2 outs, he has 2 hits and 12 at bats.
A situation where you have to pitch to one of these guys, you have to pick your poison, and you go with a little bit more unproven guy versus the very proven guy.
And the unproven guy almost decapitated Reyes at third. Driven to right and deep. Heyward going back, slowing now, and makes the catch at the edge of the warning track. The strategy worked. The Marlins strand 2 more, and the top of the Braves order is coming up in the 3rd inning. And Michael Bourne leads things off for the Braves. Prado and Heyward will follow as the Braves try to break through against Mark Burley. 3 balls and a strike. Ground ball to second. Bonifacio again. Third time a Brave has grounded out second. And 1 away in the Atlanta third. Game Connect is live on FoxSportsSouth.com with all your Braves and Marlins player stats. Follow every pitch and play as it unfolds and log on now to FoxSportsSouth.com. Martin Prado was the first Braves base runner. He walked with 1 out in the opening inning. Brings a 3-game hit streak into tonight's play. Smash Reyes, 360 spin, beautiful play, and look at the throw. 2 outs. Let's check in with Tom Hart.
All right, thanks, Chip. You know, second third of the season for Jason Heyward has been fantastic, and it seems he just keeps getting better.
Right here, just over the 100-game mark, it's, it kind of feels like, the lows aren't so low and the highs are getting better and coming around more often. And, like I said, it comes to a huge credit of, the guys hitting behind me and the guys hitting in front of me. But me as myself just learning how to be more patient in certain situations and having more at-bats in the 3-hole. That's where you want to keep getting better. The more you go and the more you want to get better.
Compared to the first 50 games over his last 48, his average is 70 points higher. He's hitting .304 with 10 home runs and 27 driven in the second third of his third season. Chip?
Thank you, Tom. And I really liked what Jason said, guys, about seeing more pitches, because that's really been evident in this 2012 season for Jason.
He's just not getting himself in as many bad pitch counts as he did last year, swinging at bad pitches.
That ball's fisted down the left field line, and it'll bounce into the seats. Heyward's still alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I would imagine that's got to be a combination of having a better understanding of the strike zone, but also having more confidence. You're going up there looking for a pitch. If you're not getting it, you're not afraid to get behind in the count and hit when you're behind in the count.
Swing and a high drive hammered deep right. That ball's going to go a long way. 1-0 Atlanta.
Remember that hanger first time up we said he got away with?
Didn't get away with it there.
No, he didn't.
Very similar pitch to the one that he pulled foul his first at bat.
And Burley never even turned around.
17 homers for Heyward. He hit it with a 1-2 count. And now Chipper bats and kisses the chalk down the left field line. He's going to try. Reyes drops the relay.
Another extra base hit for Chipper. Another mistake up and out over the plate. An off-speed pitch right on the chalk.
So Freddie Freeman hits with a run in, 2 outs, and Chipper at second. Strike 1.
Freddie went to the cage today with Greg Walker before the indoor cage, and he came back 9 swings later. He said, okay, figured it out. Didn't take long. Greg figured it out right away. Too much top hand driving down on the ball and not enough bottom hand. He said he saw it right away and took his 9 swings, ready to go.
2 balls and a strike. Freeman takes a 2-out walk. Second walk for Burley. Again, this is a man that doesn't walk people. And he's walked 6 guys in his last start and a third against Atlanta.
Combination of being a little bit out of sorts his last start and some good patience by the Braves hitters. And again here tonight with some good patience. They've laid off some pretty close pitches.
Brian McCann singled with the first Atlanta hit. That was in the 2nd inning. And Joe, while you talk about the work that Greg Walker did mechanically with Freddie Freeman, his grip and the top hand and all of that, from a hitter's perspective, Atlanta must feel like they have a very nice advantage in that Walker saw Burley pitch every game in the big leagues.
You know it. And how he attacked hitters, especially not giving in with his changeup when he's behind in the count. The guys probably are up there knowing that even though it's 2-0 or 3-1, they're not going to get a fastball. They're going to get something that's a change of pace of some kind, either an off-speed breaking ball or just a straight change. Does that sound familiar?
Vaguely, yes.
Greg, of course, was the hitting coach with the White Sox, where Burley starred for so many seasons. Reunited with Ozzie Guillen, who's in his first as the Marlins manager. One and two.
And that's his fastball. 86, 87. Pretty much the top end for him.
And that one caught the outside corner, McCann argues. But he is the 3rd and final out of the inning. But Jason Heyward got a hanger, and boy, he launched it deep into the seats in right. His 17th homer has given Tommy Hansen and the Braves a 1-0 lead. As we move along to our 4th inning. Jason Heyward, a long home run a moment ago. And so Atlanta trying to win its 6th consecutive game and start this homestand 4-0, off to a real good start tonight. Tommy Hansen has the bottom part of the Miami order coming up. Peterson, Hayes, and Cousins. Looking for his first perfect inning of the night.
He has gone 13 innings without a perfect inning, and only one in his last 18.
There's a good pitch, 0-2. Guys, as we've talked a million times, it's not so much the number of pitches, but the stress of the pitches, and he's thrown a ton of them.
Well, that's what, you know, even having one guy on an inning, when you're just repeatedly over and over again, that starts to take its toll on you.
Especially in a close game.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Peterson. And that's down the right field line, out of play, foul. We're just past 8 o'clock in the East. Braves and Marlins meeting on a warm night at Turner Field. Heyward's homered. Mark Burley is the man that surrendered it. He's the Marlins starter. Tommy Hansen tonight looking for a milestone victory. If he gets it, it would be his 12th, and that would be a career high in the big leagues. Freddie Gonzalez doing some chirping with Andy Fletcher, the home plate ump.
I wonder if that goes back to the strikeout of McCann. Freddie may be trying to protect his catcher.
Sure has something to do with that, but I haven't really seen a pitch that was borderline in the sequence that you'd be
me neither
saying, hey, you just called that.
Hansen's gone from 0-2 now to 3-2 to Peterson, who's still alive.
And see, when this happens, when it goes to 3-2, like Tommy was ahead, now all of a sudden he doesn't want to walk anybody. He's walked a bunch of guys, and his fastball's at 87, trying to make sure he throws a strike, and that becomes very hittable.
That ball was scorched to left center field, and Michael Bourne's going to track it down. That's out number 1. The Braves are excited to bring legendary Southern Rockers Leonard Skinner to Turner Field for a free post-game concert after the Saturday, September 1st game against the Phillies. Visit Braves.com/tickets or call 800-745-3000. Catcher Brett Hayes struck out in the Miami second. He's 0 for 1. One area where the Marlins really look to improve is offensive production behind the plate. Hayes and John Buck have really struggled with the bat. That's why they were so excited about the deal they made with the Detroit Tigers. That pitch fell back toward us.
Yeah, they got a left-handed hitting catcher from the Tigers that they're real high on.
Rob Brantley's his name.
Yeah. You might see him before the end of the year.
That's off McCann's face mask. In fact, Rob Brantley connected for a pinch hit 3-run homer yesterday for the New Orleans Zephyrs. That's the Marlins AAA club.
Well, it just shows you what a luxury it is to have somebody like B. Mac on your team, a guy that can catch and hit. Not a lot of those out there.
That's tipped and caught. Hayes is down on strikes again.
Target down and away. The fastball was on the inside third, maybe the inside corner, and tied him up. Mislocation, but good result.
So come on, Tommy. 1 out away from a 1-2-3 fourth.
What'd you bring that up for?
1 ball, no strikes. High pop fly into shallow right. Jason Heyward's got it. Told you, Tommy. 1-2-3. Attaboy, Tommy Hansen. He protects a 1-0 lead as we head to the home half of the 4th inning. Braves up by a run in the 4th inning. All season long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. Braves trying to break through on Monday, leading 1-0. As Dan Uggla goes to work. 1 ball, no strikes. And 1-2. We mentioned all the work that Greg Walker and Scott Fletcher have done with these Braves hitters. Dan's been working on a few things. Joe talked about those in yesterday's ball game. Dan's been striking out a lot and popping out a lot.
Trying to get that front foot down a little quicker and get a little more weight forward.
And that was a result of things he saw on his tape from years past, or
yes,
just a change they wanted to make?
Both. But he definitely saw it on the tape. And that's also in an effort to try to flatten out his swing a little bit, make it less of an uppercut.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Dan's got a little Jimmy Fox look working on his hand legs up. That's a good thing.
Toward third, backhanded stab by Murphy, and he makes a perfect throw for the first out. Georgia Power's EarthSense commercial energy efficiency program offers rebates to encourage business customers to incorporate high efficiency measures into their facility. To learn more, visit georgiapower.com/commercial savings. Yanis has a base hit tonight. Boy, has this guy been terrific defensively. Has a hit tonight as well. Very nice pickup by Frank Wren after Andrelton Simmons fractured the knuckle on his right pinky finger.
The big part of that equation is it gives them the ability to be patient. Be patient with Simmons and let him heal and not rush him back.
Got a guy doing what you ask him to do, so no sense of urgency.
One and two to Paul.
Just learned yesterday that Paul suffered a broken wrist himself a couple of years ago on his glove hand on his left wrist.
And Burley lost him. Third walk issued by the Marlins left-hander tonight.
That's a great walk for Atlanta. Bad walk for Burley because it gets Hansen up there who can make a good out and move a runner up.
Making those good outs is something this Braves offense has done a remarkable job of all season long. Our friends at Stats Inc. had a great note about the Braves this year. They're second in all of baseball in productive outs this season. That means an out where you move a guy up or a run scores. The Giants have made 185 of them. The Braves 183. And this one will be number 184. Good bunt.
And that's a vast improvement over last year. Sixth sacrifice bunt for Tommy. Good job.
Much of that improvement has been in the sacrifice fly category, where the Braves are markedly improved. The man in the on-deck circle, Martin Prado. He's been outstanding. Let's see if Bourne can come up with a 2-out hit and extend the lead. Michaels played Pepper with Bonifacio at second twice. He's 0 for 2. Up the middle, base hit. Here comes Yanis around third, and he is going to try to score, and he's going to score standing up. A walk, a sacrifice, and a Bourne single.
And it was the walk here for Burley that caused him to be very disinterested in this whole play. Didn't come around to back up the plate. He just stood and watched because he knew the run was going to score, and he was disgusted with himself about the walk.
Guys, kind of standing there watching, and you know it's frustrating. You never want to walk guys. Obviously, you certainly don't want to walk the 8th place hitter ahead of the pitcher when you're setting up the sacrifice bunt situation. And you know, like we continue to talk about, he just doesn't walk many guys. But in the last 2 starts against the Braves, something's not clicking. And again, I don't know if it's him or the Braves have been patient. a little bit of both.
So for Michael Bourne, his 127th hit, his 42nd RBI. And he and his former Astros teammate Carlos Lee talking about that, as time will be granted for Michael Bourne to tie the right shoelace.
Mark Burley walked 4 batters all of April. He walked 5 batters all of June. And he walked 4 against the Braves last time out and 3 tonight.
Well, that's because our hitting coach is Greg Walker.
Oh, yeah.
Put him. A walk and a ground out for Prado. It's a good test if the Braves try to run here. Michael with blazing speed and Burley with an excellent pickoff move.
Hayes has got a very good arm, too.
Two balls, no strikes.
Saw Michael in that shot already going back to the bag. He thought he was coming to first, so he's not getting a good read off Burley at all.
Split the plate. 2-1. That's drilled foul, evens the count. Prado 7th in the league in hits. Martin has 119 of them. And 7th in the National League in batting average against left-handed pitching at .352.
He got robbed of a hit his last time up, and that good play by Reyes.
In the air toward right. Cousins nearing the line makes the catch, and that retires the side. Boy, the Braves did a nice job of manufacturing a second run. A walk to Giannis, a hit by Bourne makes it 2-0 Atlanta. After 4 innings, and Mark Burley will start things off in the 5th. Burley struck out with the bases loaded on a 3-2 fastball right down the middle in the Miami 2nd inning. Ball 1. Pop fly foul over the Miami dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Getting to be that time of night too. Pop up, so he heads up. I just see Michael Bourne pointing in to Dan Uggla for a little help.
Line drive, left field line, but foul. Nice catch. Ballboy made the play on the fly. 2-2 still the count. Strike 3 called. Hansen has his 4th strikeout of the game. Don't forget to get your Chipper Jones 4-game plan today. Those plans include a ticket to 4 Friday games, which includes Chipper Jones Night, September 28th, and a set of 4 Chipper Jones commemorative prints presented by SunTrust. Packages start at $71. Visit Braves.com or call 404-577-9100.
That's a good plan. 4 Friday nights, you get the 4 pictures, and you get fireworks all 4.
Bonifacio down a strike. Hot shot past second. And second baseman Dan Uggla, I should say, and Bonifacio's aboard with a 1-out single. Those Friday, August dates, by the way, or Friday dates for Chipper, August 17th, August 31st, September 14th, and September 28th.
That's the Dodgers, the Phillies, and September 14th, did you say?
Yes.
That's Washington, and then the 28th is the Mets. So all good games.
Yep.
It's a good deal.
And then fireworks as well on those Friday nights. So a lot of great happenings at the ballpark. We hope you'll make your plans and join us. Braves figure to be playing very exciting baseball August and September here at home. Keep an eye on Bonifacio. He's stolen 28 bases and bats in front of Donnie Murphy. He went.
He's stolen 28 and he's tied with Michael Bourne, and yet Bonifacio missed about a month with a bad thumb.
Injured, ironically enough, on a stolen base attempt. Close play at first. As you look at Bonifacio's left hand, you see what looks like an oven mitt to help protect the left hand. Again, close at first.
Seems like a little bit of an odd contraption to have on there, and from what you normally see guys wearing.
Something to keep his thumb pinned to his hand, I guess, so that he doesn't jam it into the ground or get it caught on the base.
I mean, I understand that, but I guess you better make sure he times everything right and slides with his left hand, because if he's going to grab the bag with that right hand, he's not holding on.
Yeah, they could have probably saved some money if they'd just given him like a Dixie cup put over the
exactly.
I was wondering what is that made of? It's almost like they sawed off the top of a traffic cone. He's running. Ground ball too short. Giannis retires Murphy. 2 outs. Bonifacio at second for Jose Reyes. And even Dan Ugla's checking that thing. What is that made out of? Two outs for Reyes. He doubled last time up. And this is a trade depleted and injury depleted Marlins offense. Well, Mike Stanton may be back as early as August 10th for the Marlins team. He comes back from knee surgery. Logan Morrison will maybe have to have another knee operation. He may be lost for the year for Ozzie Guillen, so instead of leading Reyes off, puts him in an RBI spot, a sore spot for this Marlins offense all year.
We know for a fact that Ozzie is not the most patient guy in the world, so this is really going to test him the last 2 months. And certainly not the type team he thought he was going to be managing the last 2 months also.
Reyes pops one up, shallow left. Martin coming on near the line, still coming, diving try, cannot get it. It's a fair ball. Reyes to second is in safely, and the Marlins are on the board. A bloop double for Reyes brings home Bonifacio with 2 outs, and the Braves lead's cut in half.
Like a slider that was trying to backdoor, but he left it up. That gave him a chance to get wood on it, and a great effort by Martin. Comes up just a bit short.
Yeah, he made that closer than I thought he was going to when that ball first went up in the air, and I saw where he was playing. And you can't go after a ball any harder than that. Just came up a step short.
So Carlos Lee bats and takes a strike. A laser into left field. Here comes Reyes around third. Prado loads up. Here comes his throw toward the plate. It's going to be close. And they got him! What a throw by Martin Prado to erase Jose Reyes at the plate.
You can afford to airmail it when you know your base runners and know Carlos Lee's not going to take second base on the throw. And he put it right there. Great grab and tag by McCann, too.
last at bat. This was an estimated 425-foot shot, his 17th home run of the season. The only question is, was this Yickety or Mammo? Well, Chipper Jones told us yesterday that anything in front of the railing is Yickety, anything behind the walkway is Mammo. So right now here at Turner Field, this is kind of the 48th parallel in the land of demarcation. So I don't want to depress Jason Heyward. That was a fine home run in his 17th, but that was merely Yickety by Chipper's estimation.
But 425 feet, the tail of the tape, and it gave the Braves an early lead, which has stood up thanks to a great throw by Martin Prado to get one of the fastest guys in the game, Jose Reyes, on a base hit to left. Jason fouls that off his body. And the count still 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Maybe they should have a little footnote to the memo that when the opposing pitcher that gave it up doesn't even turn around because he knows it's gone, maybe that would qualify.
Yeah.
That would be an ignoro. 2-2. And here again, Heyward, 4, 5, 6 pitches in it at bat. And spoils another one. Fly ball left center field. That's going to get down. Big turnaround first for Heyward, who's 2 for 3 against Mark Burley.
On our Home Depot tools in the dugout, this throw by Martin, textbook, came up, airmailed it, a little bit of a short hop, but Brian McCann handled it and put the tag on him as he was going by. That was not an easy hop to handle for Brian, and that was just beautiful.
Well played on both ends.
Prado's 5th assist, his 2nd runner erased at the plate, and that preserves the 2-1 score. Here's Chipper, runner at first. Let's get the run right back.
And as good as Reyes out at the plate, you know he's still not happy because he thinks he should have caught the ball in the first place.
Chipper hammers this ball a mile down the left field line, and that's into the Marlins bullpen.
I think into the back of it too. This was all hips and hands, getting his hands inside the pitch, letting the hips do the work.
Wry smile from Chipper, who was fooled by that Burley pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And he is Burley, 6'2", 245. Out of St. Charles, Missouri.
Chipper is down on strikes. Burley's 3rd of the game, and Freddie Freeman the batter. Swing and a drive, hammered deep right. Cousins going back. That one's off the fence. 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Freeman just missed launching a 2-run homer.
Some serious firepower in the middle of this lineup, and another hanging pitch, a straight changeup looked like from Burley, and Freddie didn't miss it.
Yeah, as good as those 2 changeups that he threw to Chipper the previous at bat. That one didn't finish the same, and Freddie waited on it nice and drove it in the right field gap.
His first lifetime hit against Burley. And it brings up Brian McCann. Braves trying to extend a 2-1 lead. Remember, Brian argued after he was called out on strikes to end the Atlanta third. Let's see if that earns him the benefit of a pitch or two in this sequence. Popped up, shallow left. Peterson coming on near the line, still coming, can't get there. Great effort. And a foul ball for an 0-2 count. And the wind is pushing the ball toward the third base line.
Might have been the reason Martin came up a step short, and certainly why Peterson, who can really run, couldn't get to that one. That and the fact they're really playing Mac bunch toward left center and giving him the left field line. A slight pull for the outfield, but the left fielder more than anybody else, it seems.
Nice stop by Hayes. How in the world did he get any piece of his body on that ball?
Well, it was 2 in a row.
Kind of willed himself in front of that one.
A little bit of arm, a little bit of chest protector.
Even count for McCann. And now it's a full count for the Braves catcher. What do you throw here?
Well, he's going to throw him something off speed. He's got a base open. He doesn't care if he walks him. I'd be surprised if he throws him a fastball.
He didn't. And now they are loaded for Dan Uggla. Randy St. Clair's the pitching coach for the Marlins. He and Ozzie Guillen talking things over on the top step. Now Hayes out for a meeting on the mound with Carlos Lee joining as well.
We found out before the ball game that there's going to be a change in their rotation. That on Wednesday Wade LeBlanc was going to pitch. Is that correct? Wednesday or Tuesday?
It is going to be Wednesday.
Wednesday. So that means Carlos Zambrano has been moved to the bullpen, and he was actually warming up a few minutes ago. And still is, according to Laser Baker.
And how about Burley, fellas? Back-to-back 4-walk games against the Atlanta Braves. A man that had walked 19 men all season before seeing Atlanta in Miami and now here at Turner Field.
It'll make you see red. Something funny going on out there. Randy's laughing. Carlos, Mark. I can't think of a better way for Dan Uggla to get his August started than to start 2 days early right here.
Well, you told Huddy yesterday to flip ahead 3 innings at the start of the game. Said it was the third. Why not? Flip the calendar 2 days in your mind, and it's August.
1 ball, no strikes. That caught it inside corner. Dan not too sure about that one. Line drive left field. That ball's going to get down, and it's going to get by and roll into shallow left center field, and 2 runs are going to score. A double for Dan Uggla.
This ball was just scorched. Something out away from him off speed, but he one-handed it really hard to Peterson, and Peterson got eaten up by the short hop. He was betwixt and between.
So 2 big RBIs for Dan Uggla. Ends the night for Mark Burley. The Braves have really frustrated him. And Carlos Zambrano striding in from the Miami bullpen. Shortest outing of the year for Mark Burley. He departs. Needs one more win for his 12th career 10-win season. Who holds the all-time record for most 10-win seasons? Fellas, any guesses?
I think Cy Young's way too obvious.
Okay. You gonna go Maddox?
No, I'm not going to go Maddox. I'm going to go with another Braves tie. Guy in the other booth. Curly-haired guy.
Okay, I'm going Maddox.
Giannis pops a bunt into the seats foul. And because it's the obvious choice, I'll go Cy Young. Cover our bases.
Not bad.
Wow.
21 years.
We're proud of you.
I knew I had heard something about him having a crazy number of multi-win seasons. So.
And speaking of crazy numbers, here's Carlos Zambrano. The former Cub and current Marlin, who's been relegated to the bullpen because he's been awful in his last 9 starts. A 1-6 record with a 7.62 ERA in that stretch.
They got him from the Cubs for Chris Volstad. But he made his last appearance against the Braves and against anybody else last year on August 13th. He was placed on the disqualified list.
And he strikes out Paul for the second out.
And you might remember in that game, he gave up 5 home runs in 4 1/3 innings and then threw a chipper, and the umpires kicked him out of the game.
And then he threw a tantrum and basically quit. Said, I'm retired. I'm done. So the Marlins got him this season. The Cubs are playing the big bulk of his salary. But Zambrano, a potential free agent at the end of this season. He takes care of Giannis. And now Tommy Hansen will be taken down for the Braves. Juan Francisco will pinch hit, with the Braves up now 4-1 in this 5th inning.
85 pitches for Tommy Hansen. But again, a very warm, humid night. And no real easy innings except the 4th for Tommy tonight.
Here's power against power. This might be a fun matchup.
One's done great work as a starter. Up to 8 homers for the year. He's made 4 errors at third base, but remember, I think he made 2 in the first 2 opportunities he had in Houston in his first game. So he's played good defense too.
One ball, 2 strikes with 2 out. And we'll do it again. And that just missed to even the count. Zambrano has a statistical oddity. Threw a no-hitter for the Cubs. It came against the Astros at Miller Park.
Oh, wow. That's right, yeah.
They had, I think, some hurricane problems down in Houston, so that game was moved to a neutral site in September of 2008. It was the first Cub no-hitter in 36 years. And a line drive by Francisco's going to plate a couple more. 6-1 Atlanta. Great at bat.
I tell you, this kid can hit a fastball. Wanted it inside, left it out, and he squared it up. 4th pinch hit, and his 2nd and 3rd RBIs as a pinch hitter.
And all those runs belong to Mark Burley. Here's Bourne. So Tommy Hansen in real good shape now as he seeks his career-high 12th win. He's out of the game after 5, allowing a run on 6 hits. One ball, 1 strike to Michael Bourne. Bourne tonight 1 for 3. He had a 4th inning RBI that brought home Paul Janisch, who walked and was sacrificed into scoring position by Tommy Hansen.
Just looking at Mark Burley's last 3 starts here, adding it up. His last 3 starts, 14 and a third innings, 19 hits and 13 runs, 9 walks. That is way off of Mark Burley numbers.
2-2 pitch. Stays low, full count.
Burley's kind of stayed true to form to his other pattern too. 10 starts that he's pitched at least 7 innings. He's 8-2. In the 10 starts that he hasn't, 1-7 with a 5.5 ERA. So.
Did Bourne go? Yes, he did. He swung at ball 4, and that ends the Atlanta 5th. But a great inning for the Braves. They score 4 times. Dan Uggla doubled home a couple, and Juan Francisco ripped a single that scored 2. And just like that, it's 6-1 Braves heading to the top of the 6th. Getting for the Braves in the bottom of the 5th inning. And here's what's coming up. Our Jamison in upcoming schedule.
Chris Medlin makes his first start for the Braves this year and the first in 2 years. So everybody's going to be anxious to see him tomorrow. I know he's fired up about it. And then Wade LeBlanc, as we just said, was added to their rotation for the Fish on Wednesday against Ben Sheets, and then Mike Minor against Ovaldi, who came from the Dodgers. Our first look at him. I think we did see him last year with the Dodgers, but our first look at him in a Fish uniform.
Bunch of intriguing pitching matchup / situations there. What's Medlin going to do? Can Sheets keep it going? Can Minor keep it going? Interested to see those 2 young kids for the Marlins. So should be some good stuff the next 3 games.
Christian Martinez goes to work in the 6th inning after answering the AT&T call to the bullpen.
36th appearance for Christian.
He's a former Marlin and has Ricciano at an even count. 1 ball, 1 strike.
9 walks, 50 strikeouts for Christian in the 49 innings.
Change, 2 balls, 2 strikes. That almost got Ruggiano on the way by. A bullet past Chipper into left. That guy's an impressive player.
He can swing it.
He is squaring up everything. There's not any cheap hits that he's dropping in on Atlanta.
He's 7 for 19 against the Braves pitching staff.
And remember those good plays he made in Miami too, running down some balls in center field. He may have found a home.
Peterson bats 0 for 2 tonight. And that's outside, ball 1.
Unless, of course, somebody comes by and kicks the tires on him and wanting to know how much.
Double play ball. Giannis handles and fires to first. First double play turned by the Braves tonight. 2 outs.
Remember, Peterson hit a ground ball back in the 2nd inning. The Braves weren't able to turn the double play. It was a little bit of a high hop. So this time, Dan really got rid of it quickly on that backhanded flip. He got it to Giannis in a hurry. And that's what enabled them to turn it.
So Hayes hits with bases empty. He is struck out swinging twice. This Braves relief corps has been excellent of late. That's our SunTrust solid performance. In fact, the Braves pitching hasn't allowed more than 3 runs in the last 6 games they've played.
Well, they're going to be tested. We're entering the dog days of August, and with starting pitchers, beginning to tire a little bit. The heat of the summer. There's going to be more need for more innings from the pitchers, more than likely. And with Medlin coming into the rotation, you figure, as you said, pitch count for him. If the Braves got 4 or 5 from him tomorrow, it'd be a bonus. So there's a lot of innings to fill in tomorrow for Medlin, and 4 to fill in tonight. So more and more emphasis and need for good work out of the pen.
And it'll be the same with Ben Sheets as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's, hopefully you're going to see him stretch it out a little bit more, 6 innings each time out, but that's easier said than done sometimes.
Popped up. Chipper at third has an eye on this one. And he's got it to retire the side. Last of the 6th, all Braves tonight. 6-1's your score. No tweeting during our McDonald's fan of the game segment.
No, those girls wouldn't dare do that. They're decked out for the game. Face paint, headbands, tomahawks, ensigns.
I mean, the Braves are pulling out all the stops. They haven't won a game on Monday yet. But in real good shape tonight, leading 6-1 with Prado, Heyward, and Chipper coming up in inning number 6.
Really, they're pulling out the socks, not the stops.
That too.
Oh, wow.
Good point.
Yeah.
You know when the last Braves win on a Monday was?
Who?
I know it was a Dempster pitch game.
Last August. You know who won it? Jair Jurgens beat Ryan Dempster.
Best record in baseball outside of Monday. Cincinnati looks like they may have their 10-game winning streak snapped tonight, although you never know in that ballpark. In Cincinnati, they trailed 10-4 in the 5th.
Did you guys hear about Marty Brennaman?
Did he shave his head?
Did he shave?
It's coming. Marty Brennaman, the Hall of Fame broadcaster for the Reds earlier this year, told Chris Spire, one of the Reds coaches, if the Reds win 10 games in a row this year, I'll shave my head. Yes.
Which is a huge concession for Marty.
Well,
he's very proud of his Elvis hair.
Yes, well, some of the players said we may need wire clippers. But Marty's got to shoot a couple of commercials, and obviously he doesn't want to do the TV spots with the new hairdo, but he is going to follow through.
Oh boy.
As he said, I'm a man of my word, and good for him. That's a great story what the Reds have been able to do without Joey Votto. And tough night tonight for them, 10-4 with San Diego leading.
A lot of rumors surrounding them and Shane Victorino.
The Reds, you mean?
Yes. With the Phillies basically opening the doors to trades apparently today that Dave Montgomery signed on with Ruben Amaro to make some guys available. Cliff Lee, Victorino, Joe Blanton, who was rumored to be going perhaps to Baltimore, and Hunter Pence.
Heyward fouls one away, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 hits, an RBI, and 2 runs for Jason. Big question for the Marlins. Will they be blown away and be enticed to trade that man, Josh Johnson, who looked great against Atlanta, albeit a short outing with a irritation on his finger. Ground ball to Reyes at short. That rolls up the heel of his glove, and Jason's aboard for the third time. That'll be an error on Reyes. The last start for Josh, though, wasn't nearly as sharp.
No, 6 walks. I think that was yesterday, wasn't it? And there were a ton of scouts there to watch him pitch. But he did get the win. He's kind of in that mode of everybody else that's walking a ton of guys and still getting a win.
Well, here's the fun matchup of the night. Zambrano versus Chipper.
Beg your pardon, you got a no decision.
Now, in case you wondered if there was any lingering bad blood between Chipper Jones and Carlos Zambrano after last year's shenanigans, they were chatting before the game and chatting very amiably. One ball, one strike. Letter high strike, 1-2 the count. Chipper's 9 for 27 lifetime against this man, with a couple of homers.
Speaking of good fastball hitters, Carlos has great stuff and a great fastball, but his whole career, his troubles always seem to revolve around his stubbornness that he's got to throw one pitch when he gets in trouble faster than the one before. Throw harder, harder, harder. And it's gotten him in deeper trouble when that happens.
Carlos came up with the Cubs when I was there, Joe, and I really thought that he was ideally suited for Wrigley Field. I couldn't think of a guy whose stuff matched that ballpark better than Zambrano with that heavy sinking fastball. Remember, at one point, the Cubs had Heyward, Mark Pryor, and Carlos Zambrano 1, 2, 3 in their rotation before the injuries hit in Chicago. And a roller by Chipper towards second, and Heyward's at second with 2 outs. I mean, Carlos has had some big seasons in the big leagues. 18-game winner. Told you he was a man that's authored a no-hitter. But between that, as you said, stubbornness and some temper tantrums and some altercations with his own teammates, really hasn't been able to stay out of his own way the last couple of years in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, with his stuff, he should be a consistent big winner year in and year out, barring injuries. But like you say, he gets stubborn and he becomes a little bit more of a thrower and a little bit less of a pitcher.
Fly ball to center, and that's going to drop in for a hit. Heyward running at contact, and he's going to score standing up to make it a 7-1 game. 2 hits for Freddie Freeman.
Slider coming to him, and he fought it off a little bit, but dumped it in there to get the RBI. Remember, he had a 2-run single his last time up yesterday in the 7th inning, so he's doing all right in his last 4 or 5 at bats.
He's doing some really good work with two outs and runners in scoring position. Tied for 3rd in the major, 2nd in the National League. He had 30 RBIs with 2 outs coming into tonight's game.
So add 1 to that total for Freeman. And McCann the batter, and ahead in the count 2-0. Here's the other question about Zambrano. He's only 30. And with so little apparently starting pitching available at the deadline now, would this be the kind of player and pitcher that some club takes a chance on with something on the line, getting a playoff berth or maybe in the case of Carlos, a contract for next season.
I don't know if they would right now. Maybe a little bit later on. Seem to be the kind of guy you could maybe get after the trading deadline, pass through waivers, make a deal that way. If a lot of things can change up from a month from now. He could figure something out and be on his game a month from now.
High fly center field. Ruggiano drifting back is going to have room. Braves add on another run. They cash in a Jose Reyes error at shortstop. Freddie Freeman's 63rd ribby makes it 7-1 Braves.
Marlins 7-1 in the seventh. Time now for our Chevron pitching matchup for Game 2 of this series with the Miami Marlins. It'll be Ricky Nolasco opposite Chris Medlin tomorrow. And when Chris talked about his return to the rotation, he said the challenge will be efficiency.
Just the hardest thing about it is probably the pitch count thing. Trying to be an effective starter with 70 pitches, it's pretty tough. So I got to go out and be pretty efficient, or try to be efficient, and throw some strikes and get to Johnny in the bullpen.
And guys, one thing he's really looking forward to, getting some hacks in, extra BP for Chris Medlin leading up to his return to the rotation.
And why would that be, Tom Glavine?
Because he is an athlete. That's why. And he can hit a little bit. He doesn't get cheated up there.
Well, that'll be a wonderful return for Chris.
And a much anticipated one.
Cousins is the Marlins hitter leading off the seventh inning. I don't have the number in front of me, Joe. You might remember. What were the Braves in games started by Chris Medlin?
18 starts. The team is 14-4.
So he gives his team a chance to win virtually every time he takes the mound as a starter.
And he's right. You can't take the mound tomorrow night and be focused solely on that pitch count, because you get consumed by it, and then you start maybe trying to make pitches you shouldn't and get in a hurry to get guys out. Just go out there with the mentality you're going to go as long as you can, and whatever it is, it is.
Well, the plan for the Braves starting way back in spring training was to hopefully have Medlin pitching in meaningful innings in August and September. Much has been made of Steven Strasburg and the fact that the Nationals had talked about shutting him down at a certain innings limit for that Nationals club. Chris had never thrown more than 123 or 124 innings at any level. And coming off Tommy John surgery, the Braves wanted to be very careful with Medlin's arm as Cousins is down on strikes. So by pitching him in and out of the bullpen, up and down between here and AAA Gwinnett, where they stretched him out to maybe put him in the rotation when Mike Minor and Randall Delgado were struggling so mightily. Now perhaps Medlin's ready to pitch in those meaningful innings and be a meaningful member of the Braves starting rotation.
I'm not really sure how the Nationals came up with whatever number they came up with, but if that's the case, why not just put him on the DL right now and let him sit out for a month? And then
Braves wouldn't mind that. Braves wouldn't mind that.
Well, I mean, maybe you roll the dice and you figure, hey, if we don't win our division, we still have a wild card chance, and we're going to have this guy, because I don't know that they can win without him.
Donovan Solano is the Miami pinch hitter in the 7th inning.
I'm going to believe that when I see it, when they sit him down.
As am I.
For Medlin, his last outing out of the bullpen was a good one. It was the last game against these guys in Miami, and it was almost like a tune-up for his start. 3 innings in relief of Tommy Hansen, and he faced 10 batters in 3 innings. Walked 1, struck out 5, no hits. And Freddie Gonzalez said we were tempted to have him go a 4th inning, but he had pitched 2 days prior 1 inning, so 3 was enough.
Solano drives one toward right field. Jason Heyward got a good jump and makes the catch in foul ground. Quickly 2 outs. We invite you to take a tour of Turner Field today and see Dale Murphy's MVP Awards and listen to a cell phone tour of the museum from Braves Hall of Famer Pete Van Wieren. For more information about tours and the Braves Museum, call 404-614-2311 today. Braves Museum and Hall of Fame voted the best in baseball and a must-see attraction here at Turner Field. Bonifacio the batter. He is 1 for 3 and has scored the lone Miami run. And speaking of the Nationals, they are idle tonight. Washington will host the Phillies in a series opener tomorrow. So the Braves, who began play just 4 games back, could pick up a half game in the standings if they can finish off Miami tonight. Little pop, shallow center. Yanish flags it down. Christian Martinez, a perfect 1-2-3-7. Time to stretch at Turner Field. Big night for the Braves bats. Atlanta leads entering the bottom of the 7th inning, and plenty of highlights to show you tonight.
Braves got on him early. Hanging curveball from Mark Burley to Jason Heyward, his 17th homer of the year, 425 feet. then the Braves added to it in the 4th inning. Manufactured a run, a walk, a bunt, and a base hit by Bourne. Produced another run. Then the Fish went to work. They got a run in the 5th. They were trying for a second run, but a great throw by Michael Bourne and an excellent tag by Brian McCann saved what would have been a tying run. And the Braves came right back and got a big 4 spot in the 5th, highlighted by Dan Uggla's 2-run double. And got an unearned run in the 6th.
So again, Atlanta trying to win for the first time on Monday. The Braves had scored a total of 18 runs on Mondays this season coming into tonight's game.
They're saving them up. Saving them up for the Fish and Chad Gaudin.
Nobody likes Mondays. Clearly the Braves haven't liked them either.
They're liking this one. Maybe it is the Sox.
Heard about those bow tie Tuesdays. Now they got high sock Mondays.
Tomorrow bow tie Tuesday.
Too hot.
Too hot, right? Yeah. Got to draw the line somewhere.
Dan Uggla leads things off. Got him saved up for September. Tommy, you can join in the fun too.
I think I have one. I don't know how to tie it, but.
To third. Murphy's got it. And Uggla is the first out. Dan 1 for 4 in the game. And Paul Janisch bats.
That's 3 hard hit balls, though, his last 3 times up. Twice Murphy had the ball hit right at him at third base, and then the other was the double. Good signs. Ball hit hard on a line or on the ground and not under it.
Dan delivers a strike to Paul Janisch. He singled, walked, scored, and struck out. Eric Hinske readying himself to bat for Christian Martinez.
Work by Christian. Only 1 base runner, and he was wiped out in a double play.
One ball, 2 strikes. Atlanta's trying to win its 6th consecutive game. If Cincinnati falls at home, that would make the Braves the hottest team in the National League. Reds have a 10-game winning streak on the line tonight. And fellas, this was such a huge homestand for this Atlanta ball club. The Phillies, the Marlins, and Houston right around 49-50 games under 500 combined. Chance for Atlanta to really make up some ground at home on this longest homestand of the year. To this point, they've really done that. Swept the Phillies and winning big tonight.
They have, and they've done it the way you'd want to see them do it. They've pitched well, they've hit well, they've gotten timely hitting, and doing everything they need to.
And they've beaten good pitchers since the streak started, too, starting with the work down in Florida.
Served to right field by Janisch. Nice piece of hitting. Paul's 2 for 3.
Gaudin didn't like that. He was glaring at him down the line.
Just tearing him down, wasn't he?
Yeah. How dare you hit that where it's pitched.
Hinske bats in the 7th. Eric drives one into shallow left center field. That's going to drop for the 12th Atlanta hit. Janisch had a great look at that and advances to third.
The nice thing was they were playing behind him with Hinske up there in a 7-1 lead. Carlos Lee was playing behind him, so he had a huge lead and able to get to third quite easily.
So a bloop falls for Eric Hinske. That'll help improve his batting average. Now Michael Bourne, the batter. First and third, 1 out, 7th inning. 7 runs on 12 hits for the Braves tonight. And a little low. 1 ball, no strikes. Fellas, the other thing that's so exciting about the Braves final 2 months is you look at their schedule, at least as far as the winning clubs that they've played, most of that's out of the way. Braves don't have many games left against teams above 500 over the final 8-9 weeks. Still have to play, and as you know in baseball, anybody can beat anybody else on a given day. As Bourne hits a slow roller toward Bonifacio. And Miami gets Hinske at second for the second out. That'll score Paul Janisch, give Bourne another RBI, his second of the night. Makes it an 8-1 game. Braves only have 16 games against winning teams left.
Yeah, but that's why you can't count your chickens on this homestand. For that very reason. Off to a great start so far. Swept the Phillies, as you said, and a good lead tonight. But there's still 6 games left in this homestand alone, and I don't think you can look past the Fish or the Astros until you get to the weekend and realize and look back and see what you've done.
So 8-1 lead, 7th inning. Martin, the batter. And down 0-2. Tommy Hansen went 5, gave up 6 hits and a run. Mark Burley had his shortest outing of the season. 6 runs, 8 hits, and 4 1/3 worth of work. And in.
It was tight, but at least it wasn't up around his face.
Way high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Three balls, 2 strikes. Driven toward right. Cousins on the run, gets there, and makes the play to retire the side. Atlanta adds a 7th inning run, leads 8-1 heading to the 8th. On by Jameson Inn, by the Georgia Lottery, and by McDonald's. Joe, Tom, and Chip back with you at Turner Field. It's the 8th inning. Braves enjoying an 8-1 lead over the Marlins. And another AT call to the bullpen. This one answered by young left-hander Luis Avilan.
On for the 5th time this year. No record. 4.70 ERA and 7 2/3 innings pitched. So eat up a couple innings here if you can and keep that bullpen intact for tomorrow night.
He'll start the 8th with Donnie Murphy, who's 1 for 3. And ball 1 outside. In the air, right center field. Bourne on the run. Slowing, makes the catch.
Here's a look at the list of pitchers the Braves have faced and beaten during this 5-game winning streak. Some of these guys took a no decision, like Burley in the first time they faced him, and he went 5 innings. Then Nolasco, Hamels, Blanton, and Roy Halladay yesterday, and about to hang a loss on Mark Burley tonight. So those are no slouches in there. They've done good work against tough pitching.
Reyes takes a strike. 2 doubles and the lone Miami RBI. Reyes also was thrown out at the plate. Great play by Martin Prado and a terrific tag by McCann that preserved at that point a 2-1 Braves lead. Line drive left. Martin turned the wrong way, but recovered at the track.
You know, it's on plays like this and that effort he made earlier tonight where he almost made the catch after a long run that you really have to kind of shake yourself and remind yourself he's not an outfielder, but he's made himself a pretty darn good outfielder. Good instincts, turned the wrong way, but recovered and made a nice catch.
I think that you hit it on the head with the word instincts. I think he's just one of those players that has really good instincts when it comes to playing the game. Might not do things as pretty as some other guys, but at the end of the day, he makes all the right plays and he makes them all very well.
Base is clear for Carlos Lee. Wonder if he'll have a new major league home by 4 o'clock tomorrow.
He no longer has that 10 and 5 thing in effect.
He is 2 for 2. He did walk, so he's been on base 3 times tonight. Again, the non-waiver trade deadline, 4 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. There are tons of scouts here in Atlanta. Tons of scouts, frankly, in every major league ballpark with the deadline so close. And some of the scouts before the game were thinking that if there are log jams, many of the deals that are anticipated could take place at the conclusion of play tonight. General managers don't like pulling guys out of the dugout off the field in the middle of ball games. So if the race is as tightly bunched as they are, finish tonight, maybe start anew tomorrow. But we'll see.
And typically if a team has their eye on a player, they're not just going to send one scout. There'll be at least 2, maybe 3 guys to go watch a pitcher or position player.
Ground ball hits the first base bag. Avilan was there, but it eluded the glove.
That would have been a beauty.
That would have been a first. I've never seen that happen.
A 3-hit night for Lee.
Came right back to him, but he couldn't come up with it.
We've had 2 of those go against the Braves this year, haven't we? Somebody else hit the bag this season. Can't remember who that was. And here in the 8th, Lee's aboard with 2 outs. Here's Ruggiano. Hot shot. Giannis can't get it. Ruggiano with a laser. He'll reach with 2 outs. And Lee will stop at second base.
I mean, on another one, right on the screws, he is just hitting everything so hard. Watch this swing. Watch how short he is. He gets his foot down quickly, and then it's hands and hips. But he's getting the barrel to everything. I was looking at his minor league numbers before the game, and they were pretty solid, including one year at Durham where he hit, I think 25 home runs and got a call up to the big leagues by Tampa, but just never any opportunity with their 3 outfielders.
But getting one with Miami and making the most of it. A 2-hit game tonight. Brian Peterson, here's the Marlins hitter. Remember who the other man was that hit the bag. Sandy Leon in Washington, the catcher for the Nationals, hit the bag in the second game of that doubleheader up in D.C. Seen enough of that for 1 year. And 2-0 to Peterson. Don't want to walk him. 3 balls, no strikes. Bases are loaded with 2 outs. And out pops Roger McDowell. Chad Durbin begins to limber up.
These are the type games, though, that I was referring to earlier, where when your starter, even though he had the lead, Tommy had to come out after 5, and you got a lot of innings to fill. And I'm sure Avilan needed the work. He hasn't been in many games lately, but because of Medlin pitching tomorrow, I'm not second guessing Freddie, other because I told you guys beforehand I would have let Christian Martinez pitch at least 1 more inning, hit for himself, and stay in there, just because you know you're going to have to go to the bullpen tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only question in that equation is if you keep Christian to 2, is he then available when the night Ben Sheets pitches, versus if he goes 3, is he done for the rest of the series? I don't know. But in any event, I'm sure they would love to at least see him get through this inning and at least have a shot at pitching the 9th inning and not have to go to another pitcher.
Right. Well, and the way it's set up right now with Jurgens going down there, they got 3 long guys. They got Christian, they got Avilan, and they got Jurgens now that can eat up some innings and not just be 1-inning guys.
Two strikes to Brett Hayes. And lined into the seats. Game 2 of the series tomorrow night. Medlin and Nolasco. Hayes is down on strikes again. Avilan pitches out of the bases loaded 8. Three, 4, and 5 coming up for the Braves before a crowd of 22,624. The Braves need 3 defensive outs for their first win on Monday in 2012. And the bats have been terrific. 8 runs on 12 hits. And now they'll take a look at left-hander Dan Jennings.
Jennings and Peterson came up on the same day when the Braves were in Miami on the 24th.
Jennings, a 9th rounder in the 2008 draft. Graduated from Valley High School in West Des Moines. And college ball at Nebraska. And he just erased Jason Heyward for the first out. Jason's had a good night at the plate, but he's out number 1.
Peterson went to Nebraska too. So 2 Huskers came up at the same time.
Coming up on Braves Live, presented by AT we'll hear from Freddie Gonzalez. We'll get sound from the locker room. We'll have all of our highlights, and there were a lot of them tonight. Atlanta trying to win its 6th in a row and run their mark this season to 7-2 against the Marlins. Chipper has a double in 4 trips. With that 2-base hit, Chipper now 9 doubles away from 550 lifetime, 13 hits away from 2,700. He's in 6th place all by himself for most hits by a switch hitter. Next up is Roberto Alomar. And a 3-0 count with the bases empty. And he'll take a walk. 2 more hits for Freddie Freeman tonight. Double and a run in the 5th, an RBI single in the 6th. So impressive about that 6th inning, Ribby, as Tommy mentioned. He's so young and so clutch with 2 outs. 31 2-out RBIs for this young man. Season that's had some peaks and valleys because of injury, because of the issues with his eyesight. But red hot since late June, and that streak continues. Freeman with 3 hits. Chipper stops at second.
He was only 1 for 7 in the Phillies series, so that was why he came to the park today a little concerned that maybe something was wrong mechanically when he and Greg Walker put some work together in the indoor cage and got it figured out right away. And it's paid off tonight. 3 hits and a walk. And he was also only 5 for 24 against the Marlins on the year before tonight.
So tonight is Freddie's 7th 3-game hit of the year.
Well, like he said he had it figured out after 9 swings, and I guess I'll have to believe him.
Yep.
Brian McCann has singled, walked, and scored tonight.
Braves have had a runner in scoring position in every inning except the first, and they are 4 for 8 tonight. Something the Marlins could only hope that they could have a night where they're 4 for 8. Florida with 9 hits, and they've left 9 men on base.
He came in again with a .224 average as a club with runners in scoring position.
Marlins are 2 for 7. Thanks, Laser.
And on one of those hits, they had a man thrown out at the plate.
That's right.
Foul to the left by Bryan. 1 ball, 1 strike. Back to the mound. Reyes the turn and the flip to first just in time to take care of Brian McCann. We head to the 9th inning. Braves need 3 outs for their first win on Monday.
For the Toyota play of the game, and it was a beauty. Even though it did produce a run off the bat of Carlos Lee. was about to produce a run. Jose Reyes trying to tie the game up, but a brilliant throw by Martin Prado. Gets a very fast runner and Jose Reyes at the plate on a bang play and prevented the Marlins from tying the game up. That was in the top of the 5th. The Braves came right back in the bottom of the 5th with 4 runs to blow the game open. But that good throw by Martin Prado, our Toyota play of the game.
So as we head to the 9th inning, the Braves need 3 outs for a series opening win against the Marlins. It would be their 6th in a row for the season. And fellows, too, a milestone win for Tommy Hansen. This would be his 12th of the season for the Braves. It wasn't easy, but it was effective enough. After 5 innings, Tommy could go to 12-5. Scott Cousins looks inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, it's another one of those weird lines for Hansen, where in 5 innings he gave up 6 hits and 3 walks and 1 run.
Well, like you say, he got a little bit of help. Play at the plate, threw a guy out on a steal, double play ball. So he's certainly not having the unstressful innings that you'd like to have a little bit more often, but to his credit, he's getting out of those innings and hopefully building towards getting a little bit more comfortable out there and having some much more easier innings and easier games.
This would be Tommy's, again, 12th win. That would be a new career high. And Tommy, isn't that part of the progression of a young pitcher, is learning how to pitch when you don't have your dominant, overwhelming stuff?
Yeah, it's okay to win ugly sometimes. Look, I mean, he's after the last couple of years where it seems like he's the guy that never gets any runs and should have had better records than he has. He'll make no apologies, I'm sure. You know, it's all about winning, and if you got to do it ugly sometimes, so be it.
94-mile-an-hour fastball missed to Cousins, 2-2.
You say he'll be the first to tell you he wants to get more consistent and get through innings easier, but for right now the results are good.
Swing and a miss. Scott is retired on strikes. 1 away in the 9th.
Hey, this kid's got some good stuff. Live fastball and a pretty good looking breaking ball. A little bit of a sleeper.
Austin Kearns, the batter. Another name that I'm surprised we haven't heard more about on the rumor mill at the trade deadline.
Me too.
Fifth at bat of the season for Austin. 24 hits, 4 homers, 13 RBIs, and 6 for 19 as a pinch hitter.
Yeah, when you hear names like Josh Willingham as a potential boost for some club's bench, I'm surprised Kern's name isn't mentioned along with him.
He walks on 4 pitches. Luis walks his second man, and the lineup card turns back to the top in Bonifacio. There's a strike. Here's another stat about Tommy Hansen that maybe gets ignored. We look at what he's done individually. Again, he probably go to 12-5. Tommy's made 21 starts, 9 of them quality starts, but the Braves are 15-6 in games in which he's pitched. That one gets through Brian McCann, and Kearns will move to second. That's ruled a passed ball. Bonifacio swings and misses. One more out to get.
Nice little change up here that started on the outer third, maybe outside corner, and once Bonifacio committed to it, it just kept running. He couldn't get to it.
Ball one to Donnie Murphy. One ball, one strike. Breaking ball, caught a corner. 1-2.
Nice to finish on a good note here for Luis. Got out of that bases loaded inning in the 8th with a strikeout.
Slow roller. Avilan's got it. Long throw to first. Hits the base runner. And Kearns is going to come around and score the second run of the night for Miami. A single, E1, no RBI.
Did Chipper have a play on this, you think?
I think it's do or die either way.
Well, I'm just glad Freddie Freeman didn't stick his hand down there trying to make a play and risk getting kicked or otherwise. Wasn't that important.
2 more hits for Jose Reyes tonight. He'll take a 17-game hitting streak into tomorrow night's action. 1 ball, no strikes. Just past 10 o'clock Eastern time. The Braves need 1 more out to end their Monday hex. In the air to center. Michael Bourne is there, and the Braves have finally solved Monday. 8-2 our final score at Turner Field. The Braves win for the 7th time in their last 8 games head-to-head with the Marlins. Career high in wins for Tommy Hansen. He earns his 12th. 8-2 the final. Back with more from the Ted after this.